Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for dropping by today's podcast. Appreciate it very much. Dropping by, participating, sharing your thoughts on some of the things going on. For today's podcast, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of these new modules that are being tested on the test server right now. We're also going to touch base on the anniversary event wrap-up, kind of tell you our thoughts on the event as a whole now that it's over, and see what you guys thought of it. And then there's some rumors and things going around about what might possibly be the next Titan, so I thought we would kind of see what you guys know about it. We'll share what we know and kind of go from there. But as always, I look forward to doing this each week. I do apologize for last week. Between Islander and myself, both of us were kind of in bad shape, so we just had to skip it. But we're back at it now, and glad that you're all here with us. So let me go ahead and pull Islander into the show here, and we'll get the discussion going. For those of you that are new to the podcast, be sure that you voice your thoughts and opinions in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to them. And as always, I appreciate any like you drop here on the video, and if you aren't yet subscribed over on Islander's channel, make sure that you do stop by over there. There's a link in the pinned comment on this video and in the video description. Anyway, let's go ahead and get Eddie into it. Hey, what's up, Eddie?
What's going on, Chief? How the hell are you?
Doing all right, man. Been better, but starting to get a little better, I guess.
Good deal.
So originally, we were going to do this discussion last week, and I think most of it still pretty much applies. There's a few things that have kind of happened this week that we could probably discuss, and I imagine we'll probably touch on it a little bit here and there. But I did want to make sure that we have some good stuff to discuss next week as well. So, but kind of interested to see what your thoughts are, especially on the leaks that we've had on the new Titan that might be coming soon. And of course, I saw all of your chest opening videos from the anniversary event, so I'm sure you've got an opinion on that event. And I like just touching base on these events each time they start or end, so we can kind of get some feedback as far as what we liked, what we didn't like, and then of course these new modules on test server. So lots of new stuff to talk about. And,
yes, sir.
But I guess we can just start with the anniversary event, I guess. Probably the easiest to touch base on. So what were your thoughts on the anniversary event in general?
I'm going to go with a chest opening, because the percentages of pulling a pilot or pulling, the module, which I did not get a module, were horrible. They were really, really bad. Now, there were some people out there that I guess they had some and they got themselves one or two, but I myself eventually pulled a boat pilot. I got an Ivy Ravana early on, but other than that, it was just components and power cells over and over and over again. It was really bad as far as the chest opening. It irked me to see how bad that event was for a lot of people. I mean, I saw people that would drop quite a bit of cash and never got the pole pilot, which is what a target for a lot of people. And the Titan crates, I did very good early on. I got my Nodens, and I was really happy about that. But then later on, when I decided to do a few more of the Titan crates, I ended up with 2 more Nodens. the Nodens were flowing out the door. But I don't know. I was not happy with it. In my personal opinion, it was bad.
Yeah, I would have to kind of agree with you on most of that. Personally, I didn't even drop any cash on it, just because I was kind of keeping an eye for the sales, first of all, which for whatever reason never came. I think the most I saw for the discount was on the last day, and it was something like 20%. And with the odds of getting something good out of it, it just was not worth dropping cash on, in my opinion. I agree with you. It was horrendous, the odds, as far as getting something useful. I'm not sure if that's, well, I know it's something that they could control, but I think they need to consider when they put things like components in there, they need to realize that those components tend to hit way more often than the prizes people want. And personally, I would just like to see the components go away from all events. I don't think they need to be in there. Aside from that, I mean, I too, I didn't get the module. I never got the pilot, which, I can understand. I didn't drop cash either, but all I got was, I didn't even get power cells. I mean, all I was getting was components, and it was just total garbage. I did see a lot of people pick up the Ivory Ravana, I think, for the full prizes. That was probably the most common. There's a lot of Ivory Ravanas out there, so I'm pretty sure the drop rate of that was pretty high, but everything else was just crazy low.
Yeah, it really was.
And I don't know why they wouldn't go. I mean, traditionally, and I know they don't have to, they don't need to put out a 50% off, but since they've been doing these events, right, in this type of format, they've always offered a 50% off, either in the middle and at the end, or at least at the end of the event. And this time they were just like, yeah, no, 20%, that's the most you're going to save. And it's just not worth it. I mean,
yeah. Now, at the start of this event, Chief, I don't know if you saw it, but almost immediately that 20, 25, and 30% were up right off the bat. It just started off the way the last one did.
See, the current event, you mean? The brand new one?
Yes, yeah, the brand new one.
But I got my own opinions on that. I mean, I guess we could kind of discuss it. They basically, the current event, the Yandi Showdown, or whatever they're calling it this time, it wasn't even needed. I mean, if they really wanted to just extend the anniversary event, then why not just extend it? I mean, don't give it another name. It's the same damn event.
Right.
It's got all the same they added one module to the Titan chest, which, I mean, I like the idea of having the option to choose which chest you want. I think 1,000 is a little steep for the Titan chest, especially because if you get another Titan that you already have, it's completely worthless,
Right.
So, I mean, I would personally like to see the cost of that get dropped down, and then I think it would be good. But at 1,000 a shot for not so great odds, yeah, no thanks. I'll just pass on that one. But yeah, starting the other event immediately, like literally the next day after the anniversary event, and only changing one thing, I don't know who they're fooling. They're not fooling me, because I mean, it's the same event, same odds. And the only thing, honestly, that I think it did is, for those of us that want to get the pilot still, it's just going to be another month before he shows up in the pilot pool for us to get him for 2,500 gold.
Yeah. I have no problem waiting now. A lot of the guys that I spoke to that were the heavy spenders have no intentions of dropping any money on this event. They were, I guess, disheartened after the last event. There was a lot of complaining, a lot of griping about the price pool, or the way the prices were handed out. So I mean, you had people that spent, I think, like Zoc spent like $400 something right off the bat, and I think he got one pilot and one whatever for $400 something. No way.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the chat here, and some guys are talking about, dropping $400 or $500 and not even getting it. So it's like,
right.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. And even like, let's say had they had that traditional 50% off, I would have bought some. I would have dropped some cash for no other reason other than just to get some power cells, because I know at that price point, then the power cells is kind of worth it. I use them. I don't have a ton. Actually, the last couple times I've streamed, I haven't had any power cells, and I've just been refusing to pay gold for them just because, I can play the game without power cells. But,
Right.
Having them is definitely easier. But yeah, I just, even the odds on getting power cells wasn't all that great. I mean, it seemed like you were almost guaranteed that you were going to get components. I think power cells and a little bit of gold they have in there was not even very good odds. So,
well, the power cells, I actually loaded up on those. Really did. I mean, I pulled a lot of power cells throughout the event. I pulled more components, of course, but I did pull a lot of power cells. So that was okay. I don't mind the power cells, but when it's power cells, components, and a little bit of gold, and power cells, components, a little bit of gold, and never the actual good, it was just, it kind of leaves a really bad taste in the mouth as far as wanting to go through it again.
And that's exactly what they're doing with this new event. We're going through it again. So it's yeah, I don't know, and it's kind of a slap in the face, to be honest, for the folks that did drop some cash on the anniversary event. If people did have the income and they were able to drop some cash, they really wanted their prize. Hopefully they got it. Chances are they didn't, but now they bring the exact same event to us for another month when people might have spent their money on the anniversary event thinking, oh, it might be my only chance at getting, this pilot or whatever. And now we get another event that's exactly the same. So I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. Personally, I do like the format still. I like the daily tokens that you can earn. I do wish that they would just come in at the same time every day with the tasks instead of 24 hours after you completed the last one. That's kind of a pain in the ass.
Right.
But and I did like the option of the 2 chests, but like I said, I really wish the Titan chest would be, I'd say 500 at the most. I think that would be fair.
I agree. I think 1,000 is too steep. But 500 would be. I think that would be spot on. Really, really would.
And then let's see. Yeah, I was disappointed with the new event, but I guess we can save some of that discussion for next week. It's more of a reflection of the anniversary event, and compared to last year's anniversary event, and I think the year before I was playing too, those were exciting. There was something new. The odds seemed pretty decent to pick up something that you wanted. This one, it just, there was no real motivation for it, to be honest. So, I don't know if that's something that they can look at. Maybe they should have had more planning as far as releasing new stuff. But, like the Nightingale pilot, it's been in like the last 3 or 4 events. I mean, I think anybody with a Nightingale that wanted a Nightingale pilot probably has at least 5. I think it needs to get out of the pool already from the prizes. But I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you guys want the Nightingale pilot. Personally, I've got like a dozen of them, and
I've already sold off at least 13 of them, and I still don't have my Nightingale upgrade. I have the pilot, I have the bot. It's just not a priority for me right now because everybody in the clan pretty much has Nightingale, so we're kind of covered off of that. One thing that has happened, and I want to go ahead and just touch on that because I've had a lot of questions, a lot of stuff coming up. We did have a merger here recently between some of the guys from 8C and Gods, and Gods is now Gods Corp. And just for those of y'all who are asking and wanting to know, yes, HC and Gods did merge their power squads.
So what does that mean exactly?
That means we have about almost 40 maxed accounts in one clan now. Now we're just kind of getting used to playing with each other. Play styles are different, strategies are different. So we go out there and we're just not all in sequence. So we're just kind of learning new tactics, new strategies, or how to adapt to each other's playing styles. But yeah, just because it's been coming up a lot, and it did happen this past week, and I've been getting a lot of comments and questions on that. So people are asking, did it happen? Is it true? Did HC and God merge? Yes, we had probably about 15, 16 members from HC join and merge with God. So that's the new thing that just happened with us recently.
So is there no more HC or?
Yeah. HC is still there. Actually, HC had a bunch of guys that would run duels and run solos and stuff like that. And I guess some of the guys that we had over at Gods that were used to doing duels and solos, we're going to head over there, and that way they can do their own thing. If they want to run solo, they want to run duels. They don't like running squads, stuff like that. It was all well and good, So I'm not sure how many of them went over, but yeah, HC is still there. I'm not sure they're keeping the name. I haven't really heard from them since the merger happened, but HCS is still there.
Well, hopefully it works out and benefits everybody involved. Honestly, I expect to see a lot more of things like that with the mergers and stuff the closer we get to the completed server merger between the platforms.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the clans, especially the top tier clans, are going to try and make some power moves to bring in some of the better players from each platform, probably before the merge and immediately after the merge. I think things are going to get pretty crazy as far as the clans go. But yeah, for those of you that have asked, my clan is great. I have the homeless clan. Started it because I needed boosters.
I love the name.
No, it's just Chief Gaming is the name.
Oh, okay.
But
I named it the homeless clan. That is awesome.
There's like 8 players in there now. It's mostly my own, personal friends, people I've played with for a long time that found themselves kind of in a homeless situation and needed somewhere to hide out and hang out. And man, we're almost at C rank with just
awesome.
just a few of us. So we're moving on up. But
in the conversation, let's get back over to what we were talking about earlier. DFE01 stated he did really good. He bought 5 times 100 coin pack. Okay, and open he got 2 Ivory Ravanas, Ivory Scourge, 1 Poe Pilot, 1 Virginia Walker, and 2 Alming skins. 2 Alju skins and an Alming. So I guess he's happy with his openings.
Well, sounds like he made out
the Poe Pilot. That's a plus right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean that's a strong.
Congrats, DFE.
But you go 3 or 4 comments down below him, and Robo with a shotgun says he dropped $50, got a Nightingale pilot and a Nucleon. So
I did get 2 Nucleon, outright, but I really didn't consider those good prizes. The Nucleon, is just not really all that. Not what I thought it was going to be.
Right, yeah, Nucleon needs some help. And that's something I was talking about with one of my friends last night after my stream. They're going pretty slow these days as far as buffing up weapons. I would have expected like the Nucleon to already receive a buff, because both the Nucleon and the Quarker, well, let's just say it, they suck. They're not good. They're not worth leveling. They're not worth putting on your robot right now. The Atomizer is good. It's strong. I don't think it's OP. It's effective. But the other two, yeah, they suck. And I don't see anybody using them, probably because they suck. But for whatever reason, they're not following their typical, release something new, it sucks, then they buff it up. Well, where's the buff? I don't know. Or where's the beef? No, where's the buff? So yeah, I mean, I fully expected to get a buff, but who knows? I don't know. I think with the working at home thing that they're doing, even in Russia, it's probably affecting a lot of the way they do things typically. So that could be part of the reason for us not seeing a buff to some of the new stuff that needs it. But I don't know. Hopefully they can get working on it, because it'd be nice to have them and have them be effective.
Yeah, I agree. Because right now they're just not. You're better off with the atomizers than you are the nucleons.
Turbo Knight was talking about how he wants a trading system in the game. Man, that would be such a bad idea. That was another thing I was...
a trading system would be manipulated ridiculously. I mean, if it worked good in a perfect world, yeah, we'd be able to trade stuff off or with other pilots, whatever. But I mean, the third-party vendors, all right, are going to get so involved in that and just completely screw the game. A trade system, in theory, yes, it would be great. Practical, no, it's not going to work. It won't. I mean, it would be great, I agree, but it's just not going to happen.
Every single game that has an auction house of any kind gets completely inundated by the third-party sellers. And even if they were to limit it to where you could only, auction or trade a weapon or a robot, that's not going to stop people from selling gold. And we all know how this game does not like gold loaders. And that's exactly what everybody would be doing, because then a company could easily get a whole bunch of gold on an account, tell you, okay, buy a Fury from the store for 500k silver, and then post it in the auction house for 20,000 gold, and they're gonna buy it from you, even though it's not worth anything. And then all of a sudden now you've got 20,000 gold because you gave them $30. So totally will be abused.
Yeah.
Now, Durin has an interesting idea, and I know we're getting off topic here, but he says we need a way to use the clan points that we accumulate in like a clan store, buy silver, gold, platinum, or keys. Now, I don't know that I would agree with silver or gold or platinum, but I think keys would be a nice thing to trade some of that in for, or boosters. Something like that I think would be really interesting, so that it would actually motivate people to stay positive and try and earn clan points. I think that's an interesting idea. And it would definitely reward the grinders.
Yeah, I would agree. But on the outside, or as the first comment, I would like to see some type of platinum in there as well. I think that would be really awesome. If the clan can choose, or have options as to what they want. They need, maybe you have people in there that are trying to upgrade their Titans. Maybe you have people that need the silver because they're trying to upgrade their bots, stuff like that. I think it would be neat to have the option.
Well, the only reason I said that I wouldn't really want them in there is because we all know the valuation that Pixonic puts on their different currencies, and they're completely out of touch with reality. They evaluate 5 platinum as being worth more than, $1 million silver. You know what I'm saying? So, personally, I think it's just so out of whack. Maybe if there was like something set in stone where like, okay, this is valued at this much and this much, and they actually stuck with that as far as on all aspects of the game economy. but they really don't. So that would be the only reason I would be against those currencies being in there. Let's see. Oh, okay. Anyway, getting back on topic here. So we kind of talked about the event. Seems like most of us agree it was kind of bad, especially for the anniversary event. But how about those new modules on test server? I know you've had a chance to try them out a few times. What do you think of that?
Last week's test server was just off the wall ridiculous because
it was hilarious.
There was so many bugs in there. I'll be honest with you, Chief. It was about the most fun I had in a long time. From start to finish, I was just giggling my butt off, laughing, joking, having a good time on the test server. But we come back to this week's test server, and things seem to be a little bit more in check now. I noticed that the hoverbot could still keep its flight for quite some time. If he uses the jump and then the hover, just seems like it never really came down. In all actuality, or in all honesty, I'm not a fan. I'm really, really not a fan of it. I like it for a test server. I think it would be great for a skirmish mode. But we already had jumping bots and we already had dash bots, and those bots have had their phases. And a dash is supposed to have dash, and a jump is supposed to, some bots don't need to be jumping or dashing. They need to stay on the ground. Other bots fly. So if we have a dash and we have a jump, so then what's to prevent the next module being a flight module? So we're gonna have flying rhinos. Yeah, I mean, each bot has its ability and has had its staple in the game, and I think it really needs just to stay that way. Now, some robots would really benefit from a jump, like a Loki or a Phantom or a speed bot. I think would do really, really good with those type of abilities. But I really don't see that being as part of the game. That's just my opinion. All right, I think that each bot that has been given its ability should stick with the ability that it has. I don't think that I would like to see an ivory jumping Roboto in cloak coming down on me and I can't target him and he's just gonna unload on me. See, stuff like that would really, really just kind of irk me a little bit. There's some power bots in the game that would really super benefit from this type of deal, especially if you have a Roboto pilot that already has 3 phase shifts on it, doesn't need the stealth, all right, doesn't need the quantum, I mean not the quantum radar, the
disguise unit.
No, not the disguise. Well, the disguise units as well. That's just another deal. But you don't need the phase shift on that. You have disguise units. I mean, that's just a totally another module that I did not like. You lose 10% of your health and your bot disappears. It's just, I don't know. I can see that would come into the game. The other two, I hopefully they would be more for fun. But I'm kind of at a loss for words as what's going on in my mind with all these new modules that are coming out. I'm just not really a fan of it, especially with the disguise unit. If you would put 2 disguise and a last stand on a Ravana, good luck. You're never, ever going to kill that bot.
Right. No, I don't know. I think these modules, at least the jump and the dash module, are kind of what I expected the active modules to be when they first came to the game.
Yes, so did I.
But that isn't what we got. Instead, we got all this other stuff that goes through its own, nerfs and buff cycle. I think the dash and the jump are, well, one, unnecessary. And I do think that for the most part, they're going to be more for novelty. Because I can't think of a single robot in my lineup, or too many robots really, that are current, Champion League level robots that would benefit from using those over a phase shift or a QR or a super heal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, people might, throw it on, for fun have a little bit of fun with it. Unfortunately, yeah, that fun's going to cost you power cells just to jump, which is kind of ridiculous. But but at the same time, I think some of the older robots really could benefit from it. Is it going to make them OP? No. Is it going to bring any older robot into the meta? No, it won't. But, you know, putting a dash or a jump on one of the robots that didn't have an ability to begin with, I think could at least let you have fun with an old robot for a little while.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, when all this first came out, when we were talking about these modules a long time ago, it could be a jump, a dash, maybe an additional weapon slot, something like that. All those came into play, but we were not dealing with the type of bots that we were dealing with at the current moment, you know. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, are you willing to trade a phase shift? Are you willing to trade your super heals? You know, are you willing to trade in your quantum radar for a jump or a dash? I don't think people would. So you're probably right. I mean, it comes in as novelty, and it could be fun like that. You know, you could have a lot of fun with it as far as messing around. But once again, you're right. It's going to cost you power cells every time you do that. So I don't know. We'll wait to see on that. As far as the disguise unit, I'm not a fan, only because I could see them getting stacked up heavy on Ravanas, which is already an issue for the game. Before we had the Pole Pilot, it was a problem. Now with the Pole Pilot, it's even more of a problem. And with disguise units, it's just a broken game now. There's nobody's going to be able to shoot anybody. It's a fighting game where you don't get to fight. Everybody's just always going to be in phase shift.
Yeah, and I kind of share some of your thoughts as far as the disguise unit. I think of it a little bit differently, though. You know, first we had the Last Stand that came out, and it was OP, right? So OP that Manny was able to get them to nerf it slightly by, you know, making it visible to the enemy. And then they had phase shift, and phase shift was ridiculously OP. So now the trend is going to continue where we have yet another active module that, or no, it's not even active, it's a passive module. We have yet another module, period, that brings some sort of invulnerability to a robot. I think we've been there. We've gone through this already. Just stop. Just stop. Making robots invulnerable is not good for the game, you know, and they're going to release it. Everybody's going to go all crazy for it, and everybody's going to invest a ton of gold and real money to buy it. It's going to be OP, and then they're going to nerf it. And one thing that I really don't like about this one is, instead of being creative and coming up with a whole new type of invulnerability like they did with the phase shift, they're just rehashing the stealth, and somehow this stealth is magical stealth, so that QR can't even see it. I mean, come on.
Actually, that was my idea, Chief, and I was asked one time if I ever had a pilot, what would I want for my particular pilot to be about. There was an Islander pilot, like back when Adrian had his pilot. I said, okay, well, if I had a choice right now, right here, I would want to be the pilot for the Pursuer, okay, and I would want a quantum radar jammer. So even though a lead pilot goes up, you know, I'm jamming his radar, so I can see him, but he couldn't see me, and that was my pilot skill. Well, pilot skill just came into, but not on an Islander pilot. You know, it's going to come into this. So I guess from now on, I'm going to keep my comments to myself, Chief.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm just disappointed that here we are once again. They're trying to, you know, shove a new module down our throat that brings some kind of invulnerability. We know it's going to be OP. We know it's going to be abused. It's going to ruin the, you know, game. And they're going to be forced to nerf it, and then everybody's going to be pissed off over that. There's just no reason for it. We don't need it. We don't want it. They just need to move away from that whole idea of making robots invulnerable. It never works out. So I don't know. Maybe the chat sees it differently. Maybe they think that it would be great for the game. I don't know. If you guys like the idea in chat, let us know.
Pro Freedom, I'm going to go off topic of the stealth for a second. Pro Freedom says, I like the overdrive unit. I'm with him on that one. I do like the overdrive unit. I like the additional firepower. Do I have one? No, I do not. Have I tested them? Yes, I have. And I think they're pretty cool. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on the overdrive unit, Chief.
I mean, it's neat, but it's just a rehash of the thermo nuke. You know, all it does is give you additional damage. It gives you more damage than the thermo nukes do. I mean, it's just they're kind of rehashing the same things back on us and just making a slight tweak to it. Personally, I would prefer that this new module just wouldn't have come to the game. I mean, keep it simple. I mean, if they wanted to find ways to increase damage and increase the sales for modules, why wouldn't they do something like Michael was saying, you know, be able to combine your modules together and make them stronger? You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted additional damage output, you know, say you have 2 thermo nukes, once you have them both maxed out, you could combine the 2 together and get like an MK2 thermo nuke or something. And then you have to level that up. But it does more damage. Personally,
a module merger.
Well, it's a feature that they already do over in the Dino game.
Right.
So, I mean, they're familiar with the idea, but I think that would be better. It would be simpler. It would be more effective. Now, I don't necessarily agree with Michael saying that he wants the ability to combine 2 different ones together. So I think that would be a bad idea, but, you know, why not let people combine them to make them stronger? I mean, instead of coming up with a whole new one that basically is the same thing but does more damage. Oh yeah, sure, you have to be shot first. Okay, you're gonna get shot anyway. So, I mean, personally, I would rather have that damage 100% of the time anyway, rather than, you know, only if I'm below a certain health. Which is kind of another thing that they seem to be kind of rehashing now, is using health to trigger certain abilities and things on your robot. I'm not a real fan of that, just in general. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're running out of ideas or they have a whole group of people there that are just getting paid to rehash and reuse ideas that they already had. But I've already seen it, not really interested. Come up with something more unique, I guess, is my opinion. But I think the overdrive units, though, I mean, they can be OP, but since it's so hard to get them, it's not a big issue right now.
Right. There's just not a lot of them out there.
And I mean, I know people are like, oh, put overdrive units on your Fenrir. No, that's stupid. Don't do that. I mean, put overdrive units on a, you know, an Inquisitor. Or, you know, put it on an Inquisitor that is made to do damage and is not a tank, you know, and you can still, if that's the weapon setup you want as a heavy and 2 mediums, I mean, don't ruin a tank by trying to make the tank be a damage robot when it's not. It's a tank. Make it a tank.
All right.
Give it health. Give it heals.
Keep the heavy armors on it.
Right. And please, for God's sake, do not put Scourge and Calamity on your Fenrirs, people. I know there's some YouTubers out there that swear that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you can't tank with it. And then when your team sees you drop it in and thinking, oh, you know, I've got a Fenrir on my team, he can push this beacon. You can't, because your Fenrir is severely crippled. So please, people, stop. Sorry. That's my personal opinion. I really like playing tank robots, and it just gets to me when I see people doing some stuff like that. But anyway, kind of getting a little sidetracked here. What do you think of the new Titan module that came to the live server though?
Are you talking about the quantum or which one?
The one that's on the live in the event right now that just does the healing.
Oh, the healing, the active healer. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good. I mean, it brings a little bit of buff to a particular Titan of your choice, whatever you have it on. I don't know yet, Chief, if it's worth the heavy armor or the
damage module.
Yeah, the damage module. I don't know that I'm willing to swap 27% of health or firepower out for some heals, okay? Because no matter how many heals you get, you're still going to take that damage coming in. So I think I would rather have the damage output and the damage resistant versus something healing me back up, because there are Nodens in the game now, and I can rely on Noden, all right, or my fellow players can rely on me to constantly be trying to heal them and keep them in the fight, versus them giving up firepower, okay, or health if you're running an Arthur for your shit, because you want to heal yourself, you know. Now, if you run solo, it might be a good deal, you know. For squad play, I don't think it's such a great idea. I'm not quite sure what your thoughts on that, but that's mine. I would not be willing to trade off firepower or armor for a little bit of medicine.
Yeah, you know, I think it's just kind of a useless module that some people are gonna just get duped into buying or winning and, you know, investing platinum in to level up. And it's, I mean, I don't think anybody would ever contemplate trading 27% damage for a little bit of self-healing. And unless your Titan is guaranteed to heal for more than 27% of the Titan's health, then it's not going to be any better performance over using the health module. So I don't know. I think it's kind of just useless. I don't know. Once again, I'll refer to the chat. If anybody in the chat thinks it's a great idea or can come up with a circumstance where it might be better to use that, let me know. But personally, it's just there to suck up the still hard to get platinum resources from people. I don't see it being useful. Definitely in squad play. I can't. There are no Titans in the game right now that I think would benefit from it, unless maybe, you know, you have one or two on your Nodens and you play your Nodens strictly by sitting back in squad play, and your only job is to heal all of the other Titans on your team. Then okay, you know, you might keep your Nodens alive long enough to benefit from it. But I think for the most part, I can't think of a situation where it would be useful. And you are absolutely right, Michael. 1480 health per second is very, very, very pathetic for a Titan that has 1 million or more durability.
Yeah, you'll be dead before you light that cigarette. You really will. It's not going to be able to keep you in the game. Right as of right now, keep your damage, keep your firepower, keep your armor, and rely on the Nodens to take care of you.
I mean, at the rate that it heals, it might surpass the health that you gain from using a durability module if you drop it in at the 7 or 8 minute mark on a match, which, by the way, Max, it's still broken, buddy. Try again. Whatever fix you guys put in didn't work. It's still real easy to drop a Titan, even solo, at the 7 or 8 minute mark into a match. But, I mean, you would literally have to drop your Titan in that early in a match and keep it alive all the way till the end for it to heal enough of you to make it worth having. So yeah, if Pixonic ever does actually fix that and make it to where you actually can't drop your Titan, 2 minutes into a match, then yeah, it's going to be even more worthless. So anyway, overall, I guess I'm just not a fan of all the new modules. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, out of all the new modules, the only one that I'm on board with is the overdrive. That's the only one that I'm kind of I like it because I can stack that with I would be able to put one overdrive and one thermonuclear, and I think I would be sitting just fine.
Yeah. And I think if you look at the game and were to actually analyze it, and I have not done that. I'm not that smart, and I don't, especially with math. I'm really bad with math. But if you were to actually analyze how much benefit a robot gets from having a certain amount of healing per second by having a more durable robot to start with, or how much benefit you have, it's similar to comparing, is it better to put like durability on a leech or the damage on the leech, which is more effective. And I think you would literally have to analyze it, and because obviously a robot with more durability can live longer than a robot with less durability. But can it put out enough damage in that time of disparity to make up the difference? I don't know. That's kind of along the same lines with this, new Titan module. And personally, I don't think it even has a chance to make up the difference in health or damage. Like Kiara was saying, that the new module is good in theory on the Nodens, since it can stay alive for as long as possible and support your squad, but it needs higher healing rate, 2% per second or something like that. But wouldn't the Nodens be like one of the worst ones to put it on, since the Noden already has a self-heal, actually 3 self-heals that it could use on itself?
Yeah, it would not be a good idea for your Nodens. I would, like I said, once again, I would not trade off my firepower or my armor, since I'm constantly healing myself anyway. That's just it would be a wasted module.
Yeah, Joseph Cooks has a little more math there. He says for an Ao Ming, a plated armor gives 144,000 health, so that would be 98 seconds of self-repair if you get a 1480 per second. But in order to actually heal anything, you have to take the damage to begin with. So you're talking about having to take damage over 1.5 minutes plus for that to actually even make up the difference of using a plated armor. Now a maxed Ao Ming can stay in the air for more than 1.5 minutes, but not generally when it's got sustained fire going against it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, is that the health regeneration greater than the DPS coming in? I don't think it is.
No, I think it would. I mean, if you think about it, almost every weapon in the game can put out more damage than 1480 per second. So,
right.
I mean, you could literally shoot somebody with a...
One thing to consider is that 1480 at level 1, and what would it be at level 25? Is there a difference that we're talking about here? We're gonna have to upgrade it. We know that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I haven't been honestly. I streamed Friday night, but aside from that, I have not even played the game for like a week and a half, just because my health has not really allowed me to do anything. But
right.
So I have not been on the battle rack to see what the max output is. I mean, 1480 per second might be maxed out at level 25. I don't know.
Yeah, and in that case, it would absolutely not be worth the full amount of platinum you're going to drop into that bad boy.
I mean, one bullet from an Avenger does more than that in damage, and it shoots a whole lot more than 1 per second. So
Yeah.
Justin asking about the teleporters. Well, we haven't really discussed the new map, Mind Map, on test server. I was going to hold off until the next one, but I mean, I'll tell you, I think it's kind of a cool idea, but I think they need some more work. Did want to try and stay, at least talk about a little bit, because I know, Eddie, you're like all on top of all the rumors and all the leaks and all that stuff. And there's been a few leaks and rumors going about the next Titan.
Right.
What do you know about that?
To my understanding right now, it's another type of healing Titan. And, is it going to have one heavy, one light? Is it going to have 3 lights? We don't know what it's going to have. But it's supposed to be another type of healing Titan. Now, that my source could be completely off on that because we already have a Nodin. So I'm not sure exactly where it's at. But all I have right now is that it is another type of healing Titan from what I've gathered so far. I don't know what it would be or how it would work. We don't have any other information than that. Of course, I'm always digging around and I'm always talking to people. I'm on just about every Discord you could possibly think of as far as, trying to get news, trying to get information from Japan to Russia, copy and pasting, onto a Google Translator so I can see what's being said, stuff like that. I mean, that's where I get a lot of my information. I'm on Reddit. I'm always poking around somewhere to see what I can find. And all I got right now is supposedly it's some type of healing Titan. I don't know why they would introduce a second healing Titan, but then again, I mean, we do have 2 or 3 different types of healing bots in the game right now. So,
right, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw the one leaked drawing that had the outline of the leaked Titan, and then it had a Mender and a Wayland with it. So that's kind of making people think that it's going to be another healing Titan, but I don't think that's confirmed anywhere. I don't really see a use for another healing Titan unless it does like an area heal, because like the Noodles right now, he's a targeted heal, even though he can heal 3 different people at a time. But traditionally, most of our healing robots don't do targeted healing. They have an area heal that they use.
Right.
So I guess it's possible that we might see one that has some kind of a weird area heal. But it
kind of like a Wayland or the Mender style.
Right. It doesn't seem to kind of fit with things that they've told us in the past, as far as wanting Titans, to have specific roles. I mean, we have a healing Titan, unless they don't really consider the Nodens to be so much a healer as more of just a strictly support by doing targeted heals and suppression.
Now, if you had an area healer, I mean, and depending on what the radius of that heal was, I mean, you could really help your team out. If it's a tanky bot and it heals, then you could just poke that sucker up in the center beacon, and every bot that you're bringing in or that's coming in to fight for the center beacon is going to be constantly getting re-healed. That would be interesting. I mean, we're going to see damages in the 8 to 9, 10 million range.
Right. Well, being a Titan, I would assume if it was an area heal, it would have to be pretty big. I think the Wayland has the biggest area heal, and I think that's 100 meters.
Yeah.
In its area, and I think the tier is like 75 meters. So, yeah, I agree. We'll see some crazy numbers. I saw somebody post, I think it was from somebody from Omega or somewhere, they posted a screenshot of them hitting 10 million damage in a match.
Yeah.
And It's just insane. It's already hit, 10 people hitting 10 million, but I did hear something about that might have been against somebody that we know that plays all healing robots, so then that would kind of make a little bit of sense, because if you got somebody that only runs healing robots, and if they're effective at keeping the team healed up, then somebody on the red team can definitely get a ton of damage. But yeah, I think another healing Titan. But it'd be interesting to see what those little 3 things are on the the new Titan's shoulder. Looks like some kind of a built-in weapon of some kind. So I don't know. There's some weirdness, but personally, I don't know. I don't think I really want another healing Titan.
It could be a phase shift.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Or it could be a shield. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna put like an airy shield on a Titan. It just puts up like a 100-meter shield around his whole team or something. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, that definitely would, and that would be horrible to have that shield that they can shoot out and you can't shoot in. The only way to fight is to get inside of those shields, and good luck.
That's not me giving you any ideas either, Pixonic.
Yeah, let's go ahead and change the topic now. Make sure you edit that part out, Chief.
Let's see. Go over some chat here for a second.
Here you go, Chief. It would be awesome, from Jackie Maki. It would be awesome if the new Titan was a real war machine, like the Fenrir, but bigger.
Say that again. Sorry.
Jockey. I can't really
Jock.
read yeah. It would be awesome if the new Titan was really like a war machine, like a Fenrir, but only bigger, like a big, gigantic tank. I guess tankier than the Arthur. I mean, the Arthur is pretty tanky already, isn't it?
Well, the Arthur is, but you got to remember the Arthur is part of the Knights of Camelot series, so he relies on his shield rather than pure health to do the tanking. It would be kind of interesting to have just a big fat, like 200, like a 2 million HP Titan. It's just total damage absorption. That would be kind of cool. Kiara said that the Titan you showed in your video in your newsroom was fan made. So I guess that picture was made by a fan. I don't know. If they follow, she said, if they follow the normal mode, the next Titan should be a saboteur. Maybe. That does kind of fit a little bit more with
the Nodens already has the suppression. We already have the saboteur in the game. It's right. Healing and suppression.
Yeah, so it might not actually. Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Maybe it's possible Pixonic doesn't consider the Nodens to be a healer, even though it, does do some healing. It's not super strong. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can keep Arthurs and Almines in the match for a very long time with the Nodens.
Well, that's true. If the Nodens is maxed out, then yeah, it can actually be a sizable thing.
A T-Falcon Titan that's immune to defensive mitigation with one alpha weapon.
Not me guess. That was Michael that said that.
No, it wasn't. That was one of your moderators.
Yeah, that's
Durin
Michael.
True King.
That's Michael.
Oh, okay.
He changed his name on YouTube.
I got you. All right. Then, yes, it has to be Michael because he's just a huge T-Falcon fan.
Yeah, I'm not so much a fan. They're boring. I see them. I do my best to walk away because I don't get much for killing them. They're not hard to kill, but they're like a waste of time. That's their best Actually, their best benefit to their team is they cause the red team to waste their time to kill them.
So, question for you, Michael: what do you run on your xCHIEFx to make them so tanky? 2 armors, 1 last stand.
They only have 2 slots.
Okay, so you would run 2 armors, I guess, or 1 armor, 1 last stand. I'm just kind of curious.
You know, I've been seeing huge influx lately of people actually moving away from the T-Falcon and going for regular
and
Falcon.
Using the regular Falcon. Yep, and using the advanced healer.
Yep. I mean, they still die real fast, just faster when they go fangs out. It's like a magnet for me. I see it go fangs out across the map, I gotta go there and kill it. But definitely, they can put out a whole lot more damage.
Yeah.
Blue Aristo says to ask picks for a free 10-day pass for everyone. For what?
A 10-day pass for what? What 10-day pass?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he's talking about the 10-day VIP. That's the only thing that I know of that you can get in 10 days. 10 days is the VIP. Which does bring me to another thing, and this is totally off topic here, but the upgrade weekend that we're in right now, and I'm going to ask people in chat, are you getting the silver discount on your weapon upgrades? Because I know I am, personally, but I've come across a lot of people, including several YouTubers, that are not getting the discount applied to their weapon upgrades. Only their robot and modules. And so it seems to be some kind of a bug going with this upgrade weekend, and I'm just kind of interested to see how many people are affected by it. But I had to do some double checking on my end, and I know I certainly am getting the 25% discount, but there are a lot of people that are not. I think Adrian was saying he is not getting it, and one of the Russian YouTubers also saying that he did not, or is not getting the discount applied towards weapons. Yeah, it looks like most people in chat are actually getting the discounts for the weapons.
I'm getting them.
Yeah, just kind of strange, because I know Kine brought it up to me. He said he was not getting it applied, and then I noticed in our YouTuber channel that the Russian guy saying he didn't get it, and Adrian was saying he wasn't getting it. I did notice one thing was a little different this time with the upgrade weekend. The little, normally where it says 25%, on the little green upgrade button, and then when you click on it, it'll take it in and it'll show you the original amount, and it will be crossed out, and then it'll show the lower amount.
Right.
It is not doing that. And even some of the upgrade buttons do not have the 25%, red discount marking on them, but even in that case, at least on my account, it is applying the 25% discount. But
I'm gonna jump on my game right now and check that out, Chief. You gotta be curious about it.
It is not actually showing the original amount and then crossed out and then the lower amount for some reason.
Okay, so let's go ahead here. I have another rhyme because I'm getting my dirty blitz ready to roll. So let's just go go ahead and speed that up real quick.
Yeah, I had to test it by looking at what the upgrade cost was on, like, say, a Rhyme, and then going to the War Robots wiki page and seeing what the normal upgrade cost is. Because definitely, by looking at it,
Now,
it doesn't look like it's applying a discount.
What I'm showing here on the Rhyme right now, Chief, is I'm showing the double upgrade time. I'm not showing the 25% discount overdrive. And it has 4 days, 12 hours upgrade time. It has that with a red line through it. And it has 2 days, 6 hours underneath it. So I'm not seeing the 25% discount.
Right,
I want to come over here to my modules now.
How much? Hold on a second. You said that was a cryo or a Rhyme, right? So let me pull up the Rhymes on the wiki page real quick.
Okay.
And from what level to what level are you looking at?
I have it at level 8, and it's going to go to level 9.
Okay. And what is the cost that shows you?
12.8 million.
Okay, so you are getting the discount because the normal cost of a Rhyme going from level 8 to 9 is 17 million.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's not crossing it out like it used to.
Right.
And then showing the discount, it's just applying the discount. At least that's what I noticed. But some people, and I would assume somebody like Adrian knows what he's talking about, what he's looking at, you know, so if he's saying that he wasn't getting it, then I don't know. I've heard from at least 3 people saying that they were not getting the discount.
And that overdrive weekend is when? When is the last day for that?
Today, I believe.
Today?
Yeah, it usually ends at, like, I don't know, 5 a.m. Monday morning or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, I thought I would just ask the viewers, because I know that was something that was at least brought up amongst the YouTubers. So by now, it doesn't sound like too many people are actually not getting the discount. It just, maybe it's something, just the visual. People are just, it's not crossed out and showing the discount. But it does sound like a hell of a reason for Pixonic to extend it or give us another weekend like next weekend.
I'm down. I'm always down for the savings.
Oh, the new event, or the not the new event, the we didn't really talk about it, but the part 2 or phase 2 of the operation started. And what do you think of that?
I love it. I absolutely 100% love the operations that we're having right now. Mainly because I'm a huge fan of the platinum, and being able to get 700 platinum for $15, and extremely easy to complete the task and breeze through them. So that's, I mean, if you buy 1,400 platinum right now, the 50% off, which is $99, it comes out to $99 or $94 for 1,400 platinum. Right now, with the operations, you're getting them at 1,400 platinum for $30. To me, that is the value that I'm looking for. Everything else that I get in the operations, silver, keys, gold, whatever, whatever weapons, special weapon they give, whatever bot, that's all well and fine. That's just icing on the cake. But the cake itself is the platinum.
Yeah, I like that they're including the platinum. I definitely do really like that. And I do think it is a good deal, as far as the cost to platinum ratio goes. And the rest of the the resources in there is pretty good. I know they kind of changed things up with phase 1 and we're giving event tokens um, instead of the power cells that we would normally see.
Right.
This go or this time we have the power cells back in there, no event tokens. I think it's still a good deal. I think the only disappointment for me was there is no robot in this one. It's just the 4 gusts, which I don't get me wrong, I do like that they actually included the 4 gusts that would be needed to put on the blitz that you got in the first one, right?
Right, instead of 2.
Right, because and that is something that they did say in one of their dev streams, that they're trying to correlate the weapons and the robot and the pilot and all that stuff kind of into a big package on these operations, which I think is smart. I think it's good to do that. But it is a little disappointing knowing that, the gusts are not so good now because they nerfed the crap out of them. Don't get me wrong, they're still good. They especially on a blitz or something like a Loki, or even on like a Phantom, anything that's, can get in and get out pretty quick. They're still effective and they are still cheap to level up. So I can't complain on that, but it is a little disappointing because, you get these special limited edition robots. They're just kind of nice to have. They're nice to collect, and there is a little bit of a benefit to playing with them. You get 10% additional durability on them, so that's kind of nice to see. You don't get anything special for the weapons. They're just there to cost you silver to upgrade. And like in my case, I already had gusts maxed out, so I'm certainly not going to max out more gusts just because they look cool.
Right.
There's no benefit to using them. So, but really, aside from that, I can't complain too much about the operation. I mean, like you said, the platinum is a great deal. And that is true. The platinum alone kind of makes it worth buying if you're going to spend money, of course. Though knowing that there is no special edition robot, I was just kind of bummed me out a bit. And the pilot for the Hades is not really worth getting. So if that's your target in the operation, you're going to be a little disappointed. Oh, and somebody was asking, Cheryl was asking, what do you rate the Blitz from a 1 to 10? Well, without knowing what the scale actually represents, I'm going to assume that 1 is bad and 10 is good. The Blitz is one of my favorite robots in the game, and especially with the new pilot, man, that thing is insanely good. So I would put it probably around an 8 or 9. I wouldn't give it a solid 10 because it does have its faults, but man, that thing is just so much fun to play, and the new pilot makes a big difference, like a huge difference.
The Dirty Blitz gets a 9.5 for me. Can't give it a 10 because I don't think anything is a 10 other than my Pursuer. But it is definitely there. It is definitely a competitor now. The 4 light weapons are extremely powerful if you have the rhymes on them. They can hang in there with just about any bot. I got to go all the way to 9.5 with the Blitz. I'm upgrading mine. I've never run a Blitz before in my life, but I will be operating one here very, very soon. And I'm kind of hoping that the Pursuer gets some type of love like the Blitz does in the near coming future, because it's just awesome.
Now, originally with my Blitz, I was running 2 rhymes and 2 gusts because I already had the gusts maxed out and they were just sitting there, and I didn't have enough rhymes. Well, the last operation, they gave out a couple of rhymes, so then I had enough rhymes to put on there. And to be honest, I actually think it performed better with 2 gusts and 2 rhyme than it does with 4 rhymes.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think because, I mean, I think you're gonna hit a maximum amount, from the the rhymes given the the additional damage effect, you know, during the freeze, I think it's only going to go up so high. So I think you pretty much get there with just 2 of them, and then having those big pops from the gust, I think just does more damage faster than the little peas that you start shooting with the rhymes after you run out.
Right.
It just seemed to do more damage faster.
But the reload time is just so fast on the rhymes right now compared to the gust. That's why I was questioning.
Right, but I think the damage output overall, especially if you play, like me, I play on a controller, so I can control which of the weapons I'm shooting, rather than just pushing the red button and shooting everything at once. Or for people that play on emulators, they can do that, you know, on PC as well. And if I was using that and I just shoot the rhymes to start until they freeze and then unload the gust on them, man, they're just dead. But
wow,
yeah, probably a little harder to do with without being on a controller or emulator. But still, I don't know. I might actually go back to that. We'll see. I also haven't maxed out my rhymes, but I think they're both good builds, though. Hey, Zara. Thanks for the donation. It's just great stream. We have similar hangers. Where would I put 4 overdrive units? Well, I would not put them on your Fenrir. I would probably put overdrive units on a Blitz. I'd put 2 on a Blitz with a Last Stand, and I would probably put 2 on a Ao Jun with the Last Stand. That's what I would do with 4 of them. Yeah, Zara is in my clan. He was one of the homeless.
Oh, okay. He has 4 overdrive units. I mean, that was a big thing that caught my eye right there. How did you get 4 overdrive units?
He dropped a little bit on the event.
I know people that dropped a lot of bit. They couldn't get overdrive units.
Well, he might have dropped a lot of bit, but.
Well, congratulations. I am definitely jealous.
Yeah, Kine also has 4 overdrive units. I have no idea how much he dropped on it, but yeah.
Wow. I mean, I would recommend if you have an Ao Jun with redeemers or something like that you know eventually is going to take some damage. And you get that, especially with the redeemers, you get that chance to dish out that additional damage. I think they would be very beneficial there.
Yeah, I think his hanger is pretty much the same robots that I use in mine. His are a little bit higher, but good hanger. It's a good mix. All right, well, I think right around here, we'll go ahead and open it up to any last-minute questions that you guys might have. Feel free to drop the questions or comments here in the chat. I saw there was a little bit of a discussion and something we haven't really talked about for a while, economy and silver. There was a little bit of discussion earlier that I saw some folks talking about as far as you know, if you don't have VIP or you're not paying for the operation, then it's tough to get enough silver to keep your upgrades going. And I can definitely attest to that being an issue. Just as somebody that sometimes my health doesn't allow me to play so much, so I don't get to grind as much as I would like to, so I'm always struggling for silver. Though I do use VIP, but sometimes it runs out and I'm like, you know, I haven't been playing for a couple days, I'll wait. And sometimes I forget to re-up it, and there is a huge difference between having VIP and not having it. I mean, I could do, you know, 3 to 4 million damage in a match, get a bunch of beacons coming first, and get 350k silver if you don't have VIP. But maybe that's something we'll talk about. I don't know, sometime in the future. It's always good to have a discussion, or an ongoing discussion, really, on the economy of the game.
Michael Mercer is asking, because I know that I'm not sure you've heard that Zox and I are going to be putting together a tournament, the World Cup. And Michael Mercer is asking, are you going to be putting your clan into this tournament? My clan will compete in the tournament, all right, but I will not be, since I'm one of the hosts for the tournament, I will not be a participating member in the tournament.
Oh, there was a tournament going this weekend as well, wasn't there?
I'm not sure, but it's good to see a lot more tournaments popping.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice to see that Pixonic is kind of getting on board with it as well, and helping as far as, you know, authorizing prizes and so on with some of the tournaments. That's nice to see the support from the company doing that. Which does kind of remind me, for those of you out there that have YouTube channels or like to upload videos and so on, they do have a new YouTuber program. Don't specifically remember what it's called, but anyway, if you go to the official War Robots website, there's some notes on there for it. Basically, simple requirements, and this is not the influencer program. It has nothing to do with the influencer program, you know, like Eilert or myself, AD, Manny, Adrian, we're all part of the influencer program. This is totally different, but basically, if you have over 500 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you can sign up to be part of this YouTuber program. And depending on how many views for your War Robots videos you get each month, you can earn benefits or prizes, basically, from Pixonic. I think it's you know, like silver and gold and power cells, things like that. Yeah, but they are talking about expanding it in the near future to allow some of these smaller channels to also do things like giveaways, which I think would be great.
Yeah, I think that'd be really, really good.
So yeah, I don't have the specifics. If I can actually see if I can pull it up on my computer real quick. It's called the War Robots YouTube Creator Program.
Yeah.
Basically, if you
your requirements are going to be 500 subscribers, and I went down towards the June rewards. Go down there, Chief, and take a look at that.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to fall into different categories.
Yeah, they're going to rank you, basically. All you have to do is you have to sign up through a form on their on the War Robots website. It's pretty simple. They ask you, you know, what your ID platform. Make sure that you give the ID. You can't change the ID, so make sure it's for your main account. So if you run more than one account, you can't decide later to give your prizes to another one. But they're going to rank you depending on how many views you get per month for your War Robots videos. So even if you make videos for another game or whatever, you know, it's only going to count the ones for War Robots. But basically, you have to have 500 minimum subscribers, and then you can win silver, gold, or no, the lead, or the you got recruit, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond rankings. So basically, if you have between 1 and 10,000 views, you would be in the silver ranking, and you will get 1,000 gold per month. And then if you are in the gold, platinum, or the top diamond, which is 400,000 views per month, which there's there might be a couple of YouTubers that get that, but I know I'm not even anywhere near that myself. So, but that one would get 5,000 gold, 500 platinum, 20 million silver, 5,000 power cells. But basically, from the platinum and diamond levels, it looks like they are going to be giving you new items that come to the game once they're available in the game. So that's a huge deal. So you can make content with like a new robot or a new weapon or something when it first comes to the game. And they will give you access at those levels to a closed Discord channel, and you will be eligible for some giveaways. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I know I've seen a lot of the smaller YouTubers, stopping by and asking, hey, stop by, subscribe. I want to get to 500, subscribers to take part, and it's great. I think the more people that participate, the better.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, though, like I said, this is not the influencers program, so you will not be getting a Battle Rec account or anything like that. Now, can somebody go from this to the influencers program? Sure, I don't see why not.
Yep.
But
just keep growing your channel and stay active. Be putting out your daily content, doing your live streams, whatever it is that you need to do. And you'll definitely move up slowly but surely, but you'll move up. So I think right now I'm sitting in platinum, if I'm not mistaken. I had like 116,000 views last month. That puts you right in the goodie section.
Yeah, I think maybe Manny and Adrian might be near diamond
Adrian,
level.
Maybe Predator or stuff like that would be in the diamond.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, almost 500,000 views in a month that's a lot.
That is a lot.
I mean, hell, my channel honestly just went over 500,000 views since I started it. So yeah, that's a lot. But anyway, it's a great opportunity. So for any of you, even if you just kind of, put a video up every now and then, whatever, if you can get yourself 500 subscribers, apply for it for sure. At a minimum, you'll get 1,000 gold a month. Not bad. Real quick, a donation. Michael said, if I was made into a pilot for the Falcon, the ability would give the Falcon defense mitigation immunity. Not a surprise, but thanks for the 5. Not a surprise at all. Let's see. Pro Freedom was asking who's live streaming the fights. I'm guessing he's talking about the tournaments.
It'll be as Docs in my to my understanding. Now, if somebody in one of the clans is going to live stream, while he's playing, like let's say CDX or maybe one of the guys from God or something like that, by all means they can live stream it on their own. That'd be just as good. That'd actually take away some of the headaches of having to repost those videos.
Let's see. Blue Aristo was asking, so influencers can join the YouTube War Robots program. Yes, they can.
It's for all YouTubers.
Yep. What's up, AD Gaming? He says he's in premium this month. Maybe he meant platinum. What's up, Zox? We had 33,000 views in the last 30 days. Hey man, that's actually not too bad. So, might as well apply for it. Free is free, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, if it's free, you take 2.
Amen. The platinum, you would need to be between 80 to 400,000 views per month. And then 400,000 views and above would qualify you for diamond.
Yeah, I think I usually average between 40 and 60,000 a month, so it'll be a while, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I don't really need it anyway. But
The good thing down at the bottom is you would have access to a closed Discord channel as well. So you'd be right in there with the developers and those of you that like to speak your mind or give your opinion. You would have that Discord to do so.
all right, well, let's go a quick look here through chat. Make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments before we wrap it up. Yeah, it's tournament. Now, is the tournament you guys are doing? Is that going to be a Hanger X tournament?
We are going to do 2 tournaments. We're going to do one that's Hanger X, the faction style, and then we're going to do one that's going to be completely S ranked, which is going to be the World Cup. That'll be out open for 28 invites. 4 wild cards will be chosen, and it's going to go just like the World Cup tournament. You're going to be placed into groups, and 2 teams from each group would move on to the knockout round.
I guess it gives kind of a good mix there, at least content-wise. Like, I don't know. Personally, I'm not too much into tournaments, especially when it's like using your own accounts, because the field is not always even, so it's not always a good representation of skill. But I really like things like the Hanger X tournament, so I find that a little more enjoyable because that is strictly skill-based. But some people are really more into okay, let's go meta for meta, our best against your best, and see who the winner is. So it's got a little bit of something for everybody.
Right. So yeah, we'll be doing 2. Like I said, we'll be doing 2 different ones. And now I'm sure the Hanger X will not be limited to 32 teams, but I need to discuss that with my counterpart over there that's really pulling the muscle as far as the organization, which will be my boys Docs. And I'll get back to people with that. I mean, the more clans that we get involved in that one, I think would be better. But we'll just have to wait and see. But the fact that it is Hanger X, it's going to leave it open for a lot of people to come in and try to go for it.
Right. I think Mr. Bulgasaru was running one this weekend for iOS participants. I haven't caught really any of it, to be honest, but I believe that was a Hanger X type of tournament. I might be wrong, though. But it is kind of cool that, the game is kind of getting into a little bit of esports. It's definitely not an esports title, but, it brings a little flair of competition, which I think is good for the game. All right. And just a quick note for those of you, because I see quite a few of you are talking about in like the chat, you guys have YouTube channels, you make some videos and whatnot. Feel free to join my Discord. I do have a little section in there for YouTubers. I don't remember what it's called. It's but yeah, YouTube questions and advice or something like that. So I mean, feel free if you're not sure how something works on YouTube or how to do something, join my Discord, go in there, ask the question. I'll be more than happy to help you out with whatever I might know. I don't know everything. Definitely not the best, but I will I always like to give support to especially the guys starting out with YouTube, because I know it's tough. Reverse Shooter saying he's in agreement with both of us about the healing module for the Titans. Doesn't think Pixonic will make any money from it, mostly because it's far too weak. Which, by the way, talking about that healing module, Kiara did come back and say that 1480 per second was at max. So that's just sad. It's way too weak. But I think that is going to wrap it up, guys. Appreciate, as always, you guys hanging out with us, participating. Hopefully we didn't skip over too many folks that were trying to share their opinion or thoughts on some of the different stuff. Looking forward to next week. There's still lots of stuff we haven't even discussed yet. So we will be back at it, should be back at it next Sunday, for sure. Eddie, as always, it's been great.
It was a pleasure, Chief. Sorry, guys, that we didn't miss last Sunday. I had, I guess you could say what would be called a migraine headache. I just couldn't function, much less think about talking about a video game for an hour and a half. It was just really dragging me down. So I do apologize. Last week podcast was more my fault than Chief's that we didn't get to make it. So I just want to send that quick apology out. But we are trying to keep up with this podcast as much as possible. We are here just about every Sunday. Right, we do this for you guys, and we like the interaction. We like talking with you guys, and we appreciate you all taking time out of your Sunday to come and hang out with us. Much love.
And as always, guys, seriously, stay safe. Hopefully y'all stay healthy. And if you're in the U.S., in a big city, stay the hell home. That's all I gotta say.
Amen.
It ain't worth the trouble. You can always protest in your own way. Just don't burn your city down. It's not a good idea. Anyway, guys, seriously, stay safe.